Welcome back, Crochet Piece community. Today we are working on the hooked up stitch found on page 54 of the Big Book of Crochet Stitches. It calls for a chain multiple of 4 plus 2. 4 plus 2. So I did a total of 22. So I did 5 multiples of 4, and then I added the plus 2, gave me a total of 22. And this is what the piece looks like. So yeah, I actually really love this stitch a lot because it creates a nice thickness. So if you're looking for a stitch that's going to give you some structure, this is it. Also, this can be used for many different things. I feel like it could be used to provide a nice edging on a blanket if you want some structure to the end of your blanket. I also feel like it could be used as a crown for if you're making an amigurumi. So you see with the peacocks at the top, if you leave the final row off, because the final row says to actually create some single crochets in these spaces, but if you leave that, you can leave it like that, and it could be like that. It could be a cup holder, right? So you can help provide some support for a cup if you make it just the width of the cup, right? And yeah, so I really love it, and it's kind of thick, and this is a really soft yarn. I used a Bernat baby blanket kind of yarn. It's very soft, and I used a smaller crochet hook. I used a 3.5 millimeter. You can use whichever one you need for the yarn that you are using and for the look that you're looking to obtain. So this is very structured, you know, so it could be used as a nice pant. Yes, I feel like these will be some nice pants for sure. Yeah, so it creates this nice thick structure. So again, I'll show you what it looks like to put the final row in on that. But today I'm going to use my yarn that I used to teach with. This is the Bernat Maker yarn. I like it because you can really see the stitches. So I want you to make sure that you get in the habit of always counting your stitches in advance, even after you've done them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And then make sure that last one that you kind of pull it in snug, that knot, because I have been known to mistake that for a stitch as well. So now I've done this stitch several times, and sometimes I come out with 3 at the end like I'm supposed to. Sometimes I come out with 4. One time I even came out with 5, but let's try to get it right this time. So just remember the first row, it says that we're going to go into the second chain from the hook. So remember, when you're doing your work, this doesn't count as a stitch. This is actually just how the hook and the yarn connect, okay? So our first stitch would be here, our second stitch would be here, and we're going to do a single crochet in the second chain from the hook, like so. So we insert, yarn over, and we pull out that middle piece, 2 loops remaining, yarn over, and pull off those bottom 2. Okay, then it says we're going to chain 5, 1, yarn over, 2, yarn over, 3, yarn over, 4, and yarn over 5. After we've chained 5, then it says that we're going to skip 1 and 2. We're going to skip 2 chains, and we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next 2 chains. Okay, so 1 there and then 1 there, and that's the end of our repeat. Okay, we're going to start this all over again. So we're going to chain 5 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then we're going to skip 1 and 2. And make sure you're skipping the right one so that you end up with the right number at the end. And we're going to do 1 single crochet in each of the next chains. Okay. Now this can get tricky, but let's do our best. All right, so we're going to chain 5 again because we're starting the repeat again. What I mean by tricky is that you could end up with the wrong number at the end. So let's keep our fingers crossed and see if we get this right. Okay, so 1 and 2, we're skipping these 2, and we're going to do a single crochet in each of the next. So we want to end up with 3 chains remaining at the end of our repeat. Okay, 1, 2, skipping 2, and then we're going to do single crochet in each of the next 2. So once again, I'm here and I'm about to start over, but I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches remaining. So that has happened to me before. I'm supposed to have 3, but it's not a big deal if you have 3 or 4. So what you do is you're going to go ahead and start the repeat again. This is our last one. So we're going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then we're going to skip 2 like we've been doing all along, and then we're going to do a single crochet in each of the last 2. Now if you had 3, then you would be just skipping 2 and then just doing 1 in the last one. Okay, all right, so that's how mine turned out, and it gives me 5 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 group loops of 5, and we're going to start the next row by doing a chain 2. Now, I'm sorry, a chain 3. Oh, oopsie, no we're not. This is row number 1 finished, right? So we're going to do a chain of 1 and we're going to turn. Okay, getting ahead of myself. All right, so now we're going to work row number 2. Row number 2 is the repeat row. Okay, so in each of these loops, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to do 4 single crochets, chain 5, and another 4 single crochets in the same space. Okay, we're not going to do anything in between them. So once I do 4, 5, and 4, then I'm going to go in here and do the same thing. Okay, so we just did our 1 chain 1 to start the row, or to end row number 1, and now we're going to do 4 single crochets. We're working inside those chain 5 loops, so not in an actual stitch. We're working around the entire loops. So I just did 3. This is going to be my 4, and I'm going to chain 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to do another set of 4 in this same loop. So you see how I'm going right in the middle of that hole. I'm not going into a stitch. In the middle of the hole, yarning over, pulling through, and I'm going to do that single crochet 4 more times for this. Okay, and good. So now we're going to go ahead and go to the next one, and we're going to do 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5 chains, and then we're going to do 4, and then in the next one, same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, chain 5, making our way to the end. So what do you think of this stitch so far? It's kind of thick, right? Yeah. So one thing that I noticed too is that you want to probably pull your stitches down, because you see how as we're doing them, they go all the way around there. You might want to scrunch them up closer together so that it creates, you know, more of the look that you're going for, and or it gives you more space too. 2, 3, 4, and 5, and same thing, doing our 4, almost at the end there. 2, 3, 4, pulling it down, scrunching it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then my last set of 4 for this row. 2, 3, and 4, and then we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3 to end that row, And then this is what we have. Yeah, so take a look at that. It's kind of all because of this yarn that I have. It's like trying to roll up. But there you go. There we have it. Okay. So now what we would do is the same thing. Row number 2, remember, is our repeat row. So we're going to do in these picots, right? We're going to do 4 singles, 5 chains, 4 singles. Okay. So starting right in, and we're just hopping right in there after we did that chain 3, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're just hopping right back in that picot and repeating what we did from the previous row. Okay, so there we have it. And we want to keep doing that all the way down. And what we will end up with is, I've shown you guys, this is my piece that I ended up with, where, see, I have my picots at the top. Yeah. So you're going to keep going all the way down until you get to the end. And then once you get to the end, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to do a chain of 3. Now to do the final row, okay, so let's say you went all the way down and now, you know, you're here. Okay? And this is you're on your final row. You finish that row. And now you're going to you're still going to do your chain 3 and you're going to turn, but now you want to do the final row. The final row, instead of doing 4, 5, 4, we're working just 9 single crochets in each of these picots at the top. So just 9 of the stitches. That's how we finish it. Okay, so we did our chain 3 to end the last row, and we're just hopping right into that next picot, right into the space. Remember, we're not going into any stitches, and we're just doing 9 single crochet. It's a little tight. Okay, so that's my first one. That's what it looks like. That's my first one. Okay. So I did these already. So I did that in this one, and I'm just going to continue all the way down, doing 9 single crochets in the picots at the top. Remember, this is the final row. And if you don't want to do the final row, you don't have to. Okay, so this honestly is optional. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it depends on what exactly, you know, you're using the pattern for. You could still, you know, get away with doing this final stitch to make a cup holder. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So that's that. I'm gonna do my last one with you. Okay, and so there we have that. And so depending on the yarn you use, so like this one, you see my stitch was a little loose, so you can see that probably would pull it a little tighter. But you can, if you're looking for the pattern to compare it to what the book looks like, you can see it right here. I see it. And you could still use this as a cup holder like that, you know, just go all the way around. It would provide a nice support, protection from the heat. Okay, yeah, so that's that. I would use this stitch. Let me know in the comments if you would. Happy crocheting.